Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42, 42, 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Esports Showdown Series Season 6 Valorant, powered by Crucial by Micron, with their GP partners Zoltan Gaming and media partners Gossip.gg. It's your boy Aggressive here with now another person beside me, Ahana. We all know her, we all love her. Raider had to take a little bit of a backseat for this particular matchup, but maybe at any point he could be back. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm going to be sticking with you guys through this entire thing, hopefully, because this entire matchup is going to be even better. Think about it. In that last game, we did see a couple of the new teams really start to show up. That is where Celestials really were able to take that cake. Brand new roster with the experienced presence of T-Swag really leading the charge for pretty much everything that they did. Now, two veterans going up against one another. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that team later because we also need to talk about the stakes at which these teams are really fighting for. One like INR is on the line here, Anna.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about the matches, and again, the prize pool. It's gonna be a big motivator for all of these teams to go up ahead and give their best to the teams, to the games, and I am just waiting to see how it's gonna unfold all together. I just cannot wait to see how the new roster changes are gonna affect the overall playstyle of these players, and how they're gonna move forward to what's gonna happen next, which is gonna be the qualifiers.
Yeah. With the open qualifiers already gone through, the playoffs is now where the real thing is at. The grand finals, of course, ladies and gentlemen, will be on the 23rd. Don't really forget about that. Make sure to mark your calendars, mark your dates as well, because the grand finals for this season number 6 will be so much more, how do I put it, so much more competitive at the end of the day, because a lot of the greatest teams that we were able to witness in season number 1 through 5, yeah, they were present. They were having their own dominant fashion. But this time around, every team has leveled up so much in the Showdown series that things are going to change. You know, Celestial Esports coming out of absolutely nowhere, really showcasing their mettle. Yes, they are a little bit shaky, they're a little bit rocky, but even then, they know what they really need to do. Arvata on the other side of the spectrum is a completely different story. This team
Absolutely.
really had a lot of trouble getting to this point of the game. Now that they are here, they're going up against such a big obstacle of Zerofrags. Zerofrags being a team that finished third, mind you, in the last season. So they are gunning for that number one spot.
True that. I mean, the way Zerofrags performs, I am kind of a fan already, and the way they have shown up has been something that's put me on the edge of my seats all the time. But let's take a look at how Airavata players are going to be panning out, because it's not the same team anymore. I remember seeing one game from them about 5 months ago, and from that whole roster, we only see Shrey and Gladenstein being the ones that are retained. Everyone else is a new addition.
Yeah, a couple of new changes here and there, but Sayonara as a player, we have seen both of these guys, Sayonara and Zephy, be those up and coming players that a lot of teams really haven't seen just yet. Zephy, I do believe, is one of those talents. If you nurture him properly, this young kid can really just take over a game. And to have veteran presences such as Shrey, Decroit, and of course Mandasine, it's gonna change how this entire team is going to play. But when you do have two young talents on your team, the level of discipline that you could be witnessing from your team could just be on another bad turn here. But with Zerofrags now being in the initiative for it all, pretty much everyone is still present with all the players that they had previously. And because I'm Batman, could just be the one to lead the charge for it all. Zerofrags, as of right now, they're a roster that could just easily be the scariest.
Absolutely. I do still miss watching F Noob though, so I would hope to see him show up in one or the other matches. But yeah, Zerofrags is definitely one of the teams that has won quite a few hearts in this tournament, specifically with that neon gameplay coming in from the side of Because I'm Batman. I am more than excited to see how it's gonna unfold, because if you look at the maps as well, Pearl is one of the maps that Zerofrags has been very good at for a really long time. But then Ascent turns out to be one which has just been their kryptonite so far. So I don't know. I don't know if Ascent is gonna be a good story for them.
It's gonna be tough, but at the same time, it could be also an easy feat. Don't forget that we are watching Zerofrags again after almost a month, Anna.
True.
And a month is
True.
a very long time for a team that has stuck together and done regular scrims. Level of improvement that we can witness from Zerofrags was pretty much paramount. With this particular team, how will they be playing map number one is going to be the question. Earl getting picked up from them just came back into the map pool, and for Zerofrags to really start strategizing here, they want to be a step above the competition, because a lot of teams, especially newer teams, mind you, haven't really been practicing this particular map. They're still living in that old meta. And because of how many different agents got added in, how many different changes happened, especially with Neon, Pearl and its overall meta has just shifted drastically compared to what it was before.
True that. The way Neon is being used on Pearl is just, I mean, unimaginable. Players are just coming up with way too much to do on this map, and specifically because the entry points itself on Pearl become very long, narrow hallways. Being able to use Neon and her speed to your advantage in those places is just really, really, amazing. The way attackers are able to make use of it is specifically remarkable. So I definitely want to see how Pearl is gonna unfold. I am expecting to see some, good agent picks from the side of Airavata as well, because, I was hoping to see Clandestine go with the Neon, to be very honest.
It kind of throws me into a loop, right? Because there's
Yeah.
Shadow 1, there's Shadow 2. I saw a Shadow in the last game, and this is another Shadow. Why is Shadow such a popular IGN?
No idea, man. I don't have it.
Technically, you have your own name as your IGN, so
Yeah. That's not my name, by the way. That's just my IGN.
never mind. Okay, wait. Now I remember now.
Yeah.
But jumping on that over into the game again, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be talking a little bit more about Aravata's lineup, because on one side, this is a double duelist that they are going to be picking up on. It's going to be a Neon and the Phoenix being put into contention. Now, this is going to be a bigger question for the members of Arvata of how are they going to be utilizing this. Yes, if the Phoenix changes really did come through from patches that Riot has promised, then yes, I could understand that you're utilizing Phoenix now as a pseudo controller duelist, because his wall can now go through other terrain on a map to allow you to get a lot of key choke points under your control. But without those changes, the Phoenix curveballs, yes, it brings value, but at the same time, it's gonna be quite difficult to utilize that Phoenix to its fullest caliber unless you have proper outpoint control. There's a lot of ifs, there's a lot of buts here for the side of Airavata to use this particular composition. But for Zerofrags, this team is just a pain to deal with, to say the least.
Absolutely, and specifically going with a double controller lineup here, I think they are going to be even more difficult to penetrate through, specifically on the defensive side, which they are on as we begin into this particular map. Let's see how it's going to unfold, because so far it seems like the control from Zerofrags is good enough, considering the first round is not one with a lot of long-range weaponry. Look at the amount of area being covered from Zerofrags. From site B, way too far deep is where you can see the Neon coming in. Batman is already covering a lot of area. Wait a second. I am just noticing that Batman is playing a Sentinel.
Yes. Seems to be a lot of role swaps coming in from the members of Zerofrags here. Batman shifting over to the Sentinel, and rightfully so. Mind you, Batman probably has the best aim that we've seen coming out of a lot of veteran players, so utilizing him on the Sentinel does make a good idea, deals a good chunk of damage, and he's going to set up his teammates for the perfect read. Kami able to find the shot, and with that, Sayonara in towards the back. He needs to be a little bit more predominant for it all. Position being given away, needs to worry about one of the players that could be coming on from the sidelines. Already spotted. JuiceWorld's going to be able to find out the first. Sayonara still holding down the line, but Kami comes in for the final hit. Zerofrags, they take the round in a very decisive fashion. Well played.
That they do. I am kind of surprised with the number of players they've lost, though, because the way the wave was coming in from site B towards site A, I was expecting a little more, backstab results unfolding in Zerofold's favor. But then again, Zerofrags with the first round in their pockets is definitely going to be happy enough to go ahead and invest into a little bit more of firepower and put that onto action for the next one.
Absolutely. So Winsteady wins the race for them here. Then this team now is going to be the one to lead the charge for this. Sheriff in hand to try and enter a little bit more of a brute force entry. Don't get me wrong, the idea of a double duelist composition is not bad, but it requires a little bit more coordination that we've seen from a lot of teams, and now Batman is going to be in the receiving end of a lot of pain and a lot of hurt if he's not careful. So play this one smart. Angles already given, and his teammates are just able to flood in. Look at how Batman just made it so cool, calm, and collected. He's not worried about anything. The level of discipline that he's able to showcase. Zerofrag, if you have a player like that on your team who's just unfaltered and unwavering on his hold, you have nothing to worry about.
Impressive is what I would call this round, specifically from Batman. He made a quick little adjustment. The last time around, he was hiding behind the wall. He knew someone was gonna check in that wall. He knew that that was bound to happen, so he just kept himself inside of his own smoke, waited it out, and when he did peek, he was able to find two frags very easily. I mean, yeah, they're on a 2-0 for a reason, and they were able to take the last round in a flawless fashion yet again for a reason. Their economy is very well maintained now, and they're setting themselves up for victory now.
Alright, you gotta see how this is gonna go for them.
Take flight.
Right. Let's get a drone to give him a bit more information now. See how much they can really get away with. One player has been spotted, but Shadow's positioning still not yet revealed. But Shadow, he tried to clear out the deep angle instead of holding the one that was given to him. Is now given the opportunity. Zephy threads the needle beautifully. gets the first catch, and the gun round is where this team is really shining their brightest. Is the weapon disparity really starting to show here? Zero frag now. You need to play into this. The massive man disadvantage and the gun disadvantage in the process.
With the Spectre in hand, I don't think there's a lot that Batman is expecting here. Maybe he would still take up a fight or two, but then again, the team already is in a good enough position to go ahead and invest for the next rounds. Finding a couple of frags is all he's gonna wait for. This is definitely a round that's already out of hands. Not much to hope or expect.
Yeah, he's just not gonna be able to do much there. Batman's gonna be a pain to try and clear out, but at the end of the day, he took out one weapon, but immediately drops down after.
I need a drop.
Zerofrags a little bit shaky here when it comes down to their overall bonus. And I do believe that Shadow yet to get that proper understanding of how much he can really get away with. Taking it slow and steady for it all. For them, timing will be key. Possible hit coming in from Airavata over towards the B side. Batman, he's already made that optimum rotation. I love the fact that Batman as a player, he's just someone that's constantly rotating around from one side to the other. He's not given much space away.
True that. He does have a very good position yet again. Does get spotted, does get taken out instantly. Zephy just reading the game pretty well. Zephy's position is gonna be pretty punishing. Kami does have an idea, but he's gonna be blocked off with a smoke. I don't think there is a lot that can be done from the side of Zerofrags until all this utility is depleted.
You're dead.
And it's gonna be
Yeah,
a
they're
while
gonna need to
before
wait
it
and
does.
see how it goes. Let's see, the clandestine is already ready for this first fight. They're just gonna be able to run everything down. Shadow does take out the Phoenix's ultimate, but they're kind of done for here already. This is just time for a save, Ahana.
Yep. A very disheartening round for the side of Zerofrags. The quick adjustments coming in from the side of Airavata. Even though they were well read, I don't think Zerofrags could execute to it the way they planned. Nothing fell into the pieces that they were expecting. And I mean, this was just a very sad round for them altogether.
Tough call and a tough position to say the very least, but overall, not really the best of places that you would want to be in. We're going for a bit more of a reset here and just try to figure out where it's going to be going from here on out for them. 2-2 as the Croy. Being a little bit of a showman here. He's going to be able to clean everything out to the very least. A little bit fidgety, but for the members of Arvata, I do believe that this one play really allowed them to get to that proper groove. Because now they have
True
a game
that.
plan set, and I can see what this double duelist composition is really trying to achieve. They're going to utilize those flashes because normally what happens, right, is you want to fight a neon mid-slide and you have your crosshair placed at that exact position where the neon's going to be sliding. Batman, as a very experienced player, he knows the position where he wants to fight and he knows exactly where to pre-fire. But the thing is, because of that Phoenix Flash, you need to dodge the Phoenix Flash and then immediately flick onto the head of the neon, where the neon can almost instantly kill you every time. That combination is very well played, and if Clandestine and Zephy are able to communicate that properly, that could be their winning formula.
True that. True that. However, again, that's that's a move that's gonna require a lot of coordination. As you mentioned before as well, Phoenix and Neon together are amazing as long as they're able to play with each other as a team. So we'll see how much that's gonna play in. But the bigger question here is the last round, as you and I both noticed and witnessed, it was an amazing round that was taken from the side of Airavata, but it's not a very replicable one. They invested two big ultimates to be able to go ahead and squeeze that round. And I'm sitting here wondering how many times are they going to get the opportunity to go ahead and just depend on these ultimates and take over rounds with that. Look at Detroit.
He's just a showman.
True that.
He's having his own little bit of fun with the camera, but the members of Zerofrags, they're not going to be having fun soon because unless Juice Swirl jumps back in towards the game fast, the overall momentum that they could have built up is just completely gone. But at the same time, Zerofrags, they're going to be given a little bit more of a chance to really set themselves into that proper notion of where to go next.
Hmm.
With this eco round, though, coming through, they are going to be taking the Neon for a little bit of a spin with a Hero Vandal in his hands. So overall, I would say this one Hero Vandal will give them the edge that they need to just cycle through their weapons. Playing aggressively will be the best option. But at the same time, it's just so dangerous to say the very least. There's many different options and many different things that could go wrong for them here. Unless they find that answer quick. Knowing Airavata as a team, especially with a double duelist composition, you really don't want to give them a chance to get into a stride for things.
Well, I do believe that next round again is going to be one that's very highly favored towards Airavata. Not only are they going to have the better weaponry, but also yet another crucial ultimate coming online very soon for the side of Zephy. On the contrary, though, we don't see as much closeness towards the ultimates or even a good enough economy on the side of Zerofrags. So I believe it's going to be yet another loss that Zerofrags might just have to do with, but they will get their chance to shine right after that.
Knowing them, that could just be a very significant possibility, but it all does depend on whether or not Juice WRLD's going to be able to get back into the game.
True.
We all know how infamous power cuts can be when it comes down to our region.
Absolutely.
When our ISPs just do not want to really resonate with us. And then we are extremely sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for all the delays, of course. The players really are trying their hardest to get back in towards the game, and we are doing whatever we can to try and assist them as well. But as we are going to be waiting, make sure to check out all the links down below in the description. Check out our lovely sponsors from Crucial and, of course, from Zotec Gaming. Because if you want the top-of-the-line graphics card, they are the ones who have you covered.
That's true. And I mean, all those upgrades and a little bit of blessings from the electricity gods could just put you on the better side of the overall match, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Sadly, there's not going to be any form of electricity sponsors that are going to be helping out here.
That's just one that you pray and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Or
We're
just
gonna
move
be
to
able
an
to jump
entirely
on
different
soon.
region.
Even then, it always will exist, right? Technical problems, ladies and gentlemen, is something that we can never really escape from, but
But Juiceful is
overall...
back.
Oh, he's back.
Yes. Soon enough, we'll be seeing the game start up. But yeah, I'm still worried for Zerofrags in this particular round. Look at the way the utility has been deployed from their side already. Cypher utilities have been scattered all across from site A to site B. But yeah, I think the main stronghold from Cypher is gonna be towards site B, and that's where we saw Batman play the last round as well. Didn't turn out really good, but I think if he was able to get a couple of frags there, it could have been a completely different story. So maybe this will be a completely different round for him.
The main thing that we always do need to remember is that Batman is playing that Cypher more on a retake basis, and he doesn't really want to hold on to his site unless his teammates are always close by to him.
Right.
Which is very smart. Batman is constantly changing his playstyle according to what is really being thrown towards him. Zephy! On the angle, the trades are just perfect. Better than I expected. The members of Arvata, they're none the wiser for it, and this one Hero Vandal is really just giving them that edge. the fight being taken towards mid really turned everything on its head. Trey, interesting camera angle to say the very least, but overall, this was a perfect round coming in from the members of Zerofrags. They got the kills that they wanted, plus a couple of weapons to play around with for the defense. And now, it's just about going in for an optimum retake. Any small misstep here, they're gonna be done for.
Oh, Juice WRLD is up against the fight. Shrey is gonna be able to pick him up, but wait a second. What? That was not his fight to win. What did Juice WRLD just do?
One enemy remaining.
Trey just had one of his moments. It's completely fine because the young guns, they have you covered. Sayonara getting a double kill. It's a 2-3 scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. That's come through for the members of Arvata, but overall, I would say this was a very successful eco round at the end of the day. They were able to take down multiple guns, but at the end, it all really comes down to the individual performances and the game plan that they wanted to go for as Zerofrags. They showcase that they can bleed here. At the end, that's not how things are going to be.
I
Fire
think
rounds
this was,
with coming through, it's going to change everything.
I think this was definitely a very successful round for Zerofrags, as even you mentioned, because like being able to take away 3 guns, they have definitely taken away the possibility of a stable economy from the side of Airavata. And I think that's definitely like the victory they would be happy with. A good fallback from Juice WRLD, but he will be double swung on. And yeah, loses the fight.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to live through that one for long. Only those kind of odds, but with a good defensive hold in towards the A side, they still look to be in proper optimum positions. Kami. He needs to worry about this though. He can't really even go in for the spam as he would have expected. Pull back. The utility, as all the members of Airavata, they're holding from inside of the side. A little bit of a good spam here. Clandestine able to come in for the save over from the opposite side. Batman looking for the first. He's going to be able to get it. Zeppi still being the game changer for the team. Runs out of bullets. Needs to go in for the hit. He's not going to be able to do much. Dome comes through from Kami as well to give him that extra layer of security as he's trying to opt to go in for the diffuser.
Well divided.
A great move from
They
the
have the
side of
answer.
Airavata as well. Yeah.
Last player standing.
Oh, no. He wins the fight. Got himself enough time. This was definitely not something that Kami was expecting. I'm pretty sure he had his bets on his own teammate being able to win the fight and let him defuse in peace. But then again, being able to shift that quickly, the reflexes on this guy are definitely working for the favor of the team. But with a 3-3 scoreline as we stand, I think Zerofrags is struggling way more than we expected them to on this particular map.
In a way, yes, but at the same time, when you're going up against a double duelist composition, again and again, I have to reiterate this. The raw aggression from a double duelist, it's very difficult to try and quantify and to predict. If you're not ready 24/7 for the amount of util that is being thrown towards you, it's hard to be ready to take those fights and to take it in a very clean fashion. The Neon is being complemented so well by this Phoenix that it's tough, to say the very least, of how to turn this one on its head. Good hit though coming in from Clandestine. Doesn't even opt to go in for a flash, just swings out and takes the kill. The sixth sense on this man is just perfect. Oh, it's already stuck in a corner. Flame wall just allows him to get himself out of that sticky situation if he wants to, but with the overdrive now being utilized by Arvata, they have the site to play around with, but with Shadow getting another kill, things are not looking that good.
True that, it has come down to a 2v2 though. And with Zephy already being taken out, the overdrive is not something that they have to worry about, but they're definitely fighting against time. And now with the positions revealed, it's not looking as easy for the side of Kami. Shrey does have a good enough position for himself, gonna be able to watch out for protecting that plant without being in the face of a fight. Oh well, with him being taken out, is he gonna stick it? Oh, the calculations on the time just fell short for Detroit.
I don't think he expected Batman to stick it, but Batman is just... He's Batman, right? He's gonna do whatever
True.
the hell he wants.
True.
Player standing.
The
I was
will of this
expecting-
man, can you imagine? That
I
he
know,
just
right?
jumped across, got hit, and he just stuck it down. He just knew.
That he did. I was expecting a little more from the side of Shrey in the last round. I mean, he could have literally turned the game around, but even after having such a good angle, such a good position, he wasn't able to stay in the fight for long and just turn things around. But Batman, yeah, definitely was the sneaky knight he has to be.
Zephy now. He's gonna need to try and get a good angle here for this arc push. No real utility to really give them that edge though. The Sova's over on the opposite side. Not really much info being taken by the initiator. Has a chance to try and survive here. Zephy! His
Oh.
position is just way better. Shadow waits for the angle. He's gonna be able to take the duel, upgrade to a better weapon here. It all depends on Shadow just being able to hold down the line. The question is for how long? Batman already in a better angle of his own. Spots out the first player. Shadow's gonna be able to take out his own counterpart. With the timing, he's walking all the way in towards the back, but Shadow is just so wise for it. He expected the play, and he's gonna be able to find a Shadow with a 4K. A thief in the night, pretty much.
Diffuse.
That
Guy
he's been.
is
That he's
just on a
been.
different level.
True that. I would completely agree to that. I mean, started off with a judge nonetheless, and then just recovered a weapon, went ahead and annihilated the whole team. Almost the whole team. Brought it back into the game for Zerofrags nonetheless.
to play some stars.
They do have a couple of ultimates from the side of Zerofrags as well, but I'm not liking the odds here because Airavata, every time they've had that Cosmic Divide online, they've been able to squeeze around for themselves. So this could yet again be one that they're able to take for themselves, and it's usually been a B hit, but this time around they're trying to go for A. So let's see how these ultimates align with that motive.
Gonna need to wait and see how this is gonna go. It's Kami. He does have all the util that he needs to hold down any form of an A rush that could be coming in. That's kind of the strength of the Harbor when you think about it. It just
Yeah.
allows you to do whatever the hell that you want
Right there.
on the site and just be a nuisance to your opponents for as long as you possibly can. If you properly
Absolutely agree.
utilize all of the timing, it could be better. Kami in a tough spot of his own, but he's going to be able to run on away. Zephy not really being given an opportunity
no,
to do
Juice
much
WRLD.
yet. Watch it cross from the opposite side. Juice WRLD had the better angle. He's gonna live. He is going to be the one to be the difference maker for his team as Dewey just comes in for the big saves.
It was
Good
just
lord, that was a little bit
hilarious.
too close for comfort.
True that, true that. But that fight between Juice WRLD was just hilarious. He's standing there, Detroit walks in, Detroit sees the neon, fights off, and still just does not notice Juice WRLD standing right next to him. Check your angles, even inside of smokes. That's the moral of the story. But yeah, with 4 people surviving, walking into yet another round, the economy on Zerofrags is absolutely fantastic. They do have 3 ultimates online, 3 crucial ones nonetheless. Let's see how they're going to pull this through because 6-3 so far is already a good enough scoreline. But being able to take it to an 8-4 will really put them on a very possible victory for this map, I would say.
They're gonna need to get a lot more space going for themselves, but look at Shadow. Sneaky little rat. Holding on the back end of Art here. It all does depend on whether or not Juice WRLD's gonna be able to give him the information. Good early bait,
goodness.
that's a first kill, he's looking for him further. But Trey able to come in and capitalize. Another perfect kill coming in from that end, but Detroit with the Hunter's Fury, he just finds an even more of a bigger edge here. Flash coming through, surviving, and killing! It's gonna be Sayonara coming in to back up his teammates. He got the perfect clear, and Dugout is now theirs. The entirety of the side in full control of the attackers. This will be a very difficult one for them to fight
Oh,
into.
no.
Sayonara just being an absolute nuisance one after the other up against Batman. Everything is just so much more difficult. He turns the tides of battle just a tiny bit, but it was not enough to try and take down the war elephants known as Airavata.
A beautiful, beautiful round for the side of Airavata. But I do gotta compliment Zerofrags for the way they showed up on this one, because again, Airavata, they used way more than they had for this particular round. For a single round, being in a position where you had to use that many ultimates and also lose that many weapons. Not the best kind of victories, but still a good one to go forward with, because now the scoreline at least is gonna be in a place where if they get even one more round, they're gonna be comfortably sitting in the opposite side of the half. Well, yet again, a good enough trade. Both the teams losing one player each.
Spike planted.
But for Zerofrags, that's a bigger loss because they do not have the neural theft online anymore. And if it does go to a place where they need to have more information, they're going to be struggling to find any.
Not gonna be able to cross either. A tripwire will cause
What?
them some issues. Good flash, but the judge is just way better on those close proximity fights. Everyone came in towards the elbow side from the attack, and they were able to three-man hold this one gorgeously. And that one judge, it's just that one judge that caused all of these problems. Having a shotgun in your arsenal, especially towards elbow, just changes how you're going to be able to hold on to that particular side.
That judge was way too punishing. Way too punishing for this one.
This goes here.
6-5 as the scoreline stands. Now it's not a very good start for the set of Zerofrags anymore. And the way Airavata is claiming this particular map, I believe they might just have themselves a very optimistic one to begin with. And as I mentioned earlier as well, if this map goes to Airavata, then I don't think anybody is stopping them from making it a 2-0. But wait a second, Shadow, check your corners. What?
Nice try. My ult's ready.
What is happening? Why are players not checking corners anymore?
And the fair and balanced character is just running around for free. Yep. Completely fair and balanced, mind you.
Absolutely.
Joke's over. You're dead.
I'll tell you one thing. I think that Neon is okay as a character. A lot of people will hate me on this, but I do believe that her accuracy or even the ability to shoot while she is sliding needs to get completely removed. It should not be allowed. Like, if Jet is not allowed to shoot anyone while she's tailwinding, Neon should not be either.
Fair enough.
Or maybe just allow
However-
Jet to do the exact same thing.
Well, that was as quick as Neon.
Truly.
But yeah, I mean, I do agree with you that Neon being able to shoot that accurately with her abilities specifically on is just a lot to take in.
Let's go.
But yeah, look at that. Shadow has been a standout performer for Zerofrags, consistently delivering clutch plays and high impact rounds. Doesn't seem to be the
And he's
same
one of the
story
recent
for today
additions,
though.
too.
Huh?
And don't forget, he's also one of the recent additions to the team. Shadow's
True
just really been that missing piece that they need, and allowing Batman to be on that Sentinel role just changes everything. Look at the aim on this man. Because he's on that Sentinel, he can go in for those solo plays, and we've seen this in the past as well. Batman, all by himself, can easily take over a game. And you're allowing him to do that on a character that will allow him to play in that solo feature.
Blocking vision.
True that. Well, yet again, we are on a 3v3 situation with the second half just starting in Clarenstein. Still gonna be able to find yet one more, but at what cost? The HP on all these players is way too little to stand tall. And it's still gonna be enough because
No,
the
come.
numbers of players is always gonna triumph the HP total of the others. So yeah. Airavata just claiming victory for themselves. I think this is a very, hard fought way that they came back into the game because, as you can see, for a really long time, the scoreline was stuck at 3 for Airavata. But since then, they've just been able to squeeze way too many rounds, and I feel like they're getting more and more comfortable with every single passing round. Zerofrags is losing it with every single round. I'm not seeing the same zero frags anymore. I'm not seeing the same coordination. I'm not seeing the same plays being set up by the players to enable each other. It seems like a lot is missing now. And that 1 month, as you said, is a long time. I think it just took them on a downhill journey.
To an extent, yes, but at the same time, I do see a lot of greatness as well. Because don't really forget, Arvata as a team, they're running a double dealers composition, and when they are running a double dealers composition, it's very hard to predict what they want to do next. Because there's no set play, there's no set nature in which a team is going to be following up on a lot of their strategies. They're relying just purely on team chemistry to get them through a lot of these fights. And in a way, it's good and bad at the same time. Clandestine now looking for even more of a duel for us now. Arvata, they need to try and recover this weapon, but it's so difficult to do so. Position that really did die, so, as well as it's being defended by Clandestine. They don't really have much of an edge here. Are you kidding me?
Not yet. Okay, now we probably are. We probably are being tricked now.
Spike down A.
Gonna be able to hold for a while here. This Juice Swirl. I don't think he's gonna be expecting this. Crossfire. Or just be done. Sayonara with the running gun, just trying to finish everything off. 6-8, ladies and gentlemen.
Just bidding
As this was
goodbye
a
to the
very
opposite team.
close round, but overall, these crossfire setups coming in from the members of Airavata, just so hard to break.
True that, true that. But I do believe the fact that 3 players were already taken off from the side of Airavata on a round which was supposed to be their anti-eco is a good enough game for the side of Zero Frags. And now that they're coming in with all their big guns, they might just be able to turn things around. But if they don't, I think this is already gonna be too late to come back from. This is a very crucial round for Zero Frags and for Airavata as well. If they want a very comfortable victory, they might just want to keep shutting down Zero Frags on this particular one. And just like the first half, the attacking team has decided to go for the third round on site B because long range weapons and from the attacking side, it just looks like much more easier to get those heads from here with a Vandal and a Phantom against the broken by weapons on the opposite side. I'm liking Batman's position, but he's gonna be very well welcomed from the other side by Zephy.
Gonna need to try to play into this one. Shadow. He's looking to get a little bit more of an opening. Every single member of Zero Frags there. A lot more of a dangerous game here. They're taking their time. They want to get a lot of isolated 1v1s, but Zephy being the one to capitalize here, Batman not finding the headshot that he would need. The weapon yet to be retrieved for the
30
defenders.
seconds left.
And if they're able to get their hands on it, this overall round changes entirely.
Shadow did not
Shadow.
see it.
You didn't see it.
So sad.
Cage 3.
That's just
10 seconds left.
yeah. I see what you meant when you said that that needs to be nerfed.
Spike down B.
They're in balance as a
Enemy
character.
remaining.
Very.
It seems to be the team
6-9.
play and synergy coming in from the side of Airavata is what's fair and balanced indeed from the opposite side. The team is just in proper synchronization with one another, and they're able to just properly utilize their utility. Yes, they had a rough start, but up against Zerofrags, I'm surprised that Arvata are having such a significant lead going up against them. You could say that, yeah, 3 rounds is not that big, but the way that they were able to win a lot of these rounds is what's really the biggest surprise, in my opinion.
True that, and they've been on a complete win streak for a while now. And that not only means that Zerofrags is losing for a while and needs to not only look for their gameplay but also their confidence in the middle of all of that ruins, but also that their economy is not going to be very strong. So going forward, they are going to have to rely on anything and everything that they can get their hands on, but not really be expecting themselves to have all that they need. So this is definitely looking a very good game for the side of Airavata, and against what I was expecting from Zero Frags on this one. We are seeing a very strong front from Airavata. The plant is already in, definitely 300 extra credits for the whole team, but that's about it. It's a 5v5 retake, but it's site B, so you never know.
All depends on this
What?
first skill. Batman missed out on the opportunity. He's not going to be able to find anything for his team. And one by one, they're just going to start dropping like flies. Ample amounts of utility to go in for the plays, and everyone just floods in for free. One more person remaining, Kami. He's trying to be a little bit of a danger. Even then, Arvata, they're paying him no heed. The resentful war elephants just rampaging through anything and everything that Zerofrags are bringing onto the table. Yeah, of course, this was an eco round coming out from them, but in this eco, especially in a 5v5, you would have expected the members of Zerofrags to take a little bit more of an initiative. Because
True that.
those sheriffs, yes, at close range can do a little bit of damage, but it's still tough to go up against the Neon and the Phoenix, mind you, at the same time.
Absolutely. Completely agree on that. But yeah,
You're going to be seeing the fact box here, ladies and gentlemen. As despite their losses in the upper bracket quarterfinals up against Astra, Airavata Esports has shown great determination and fighting spirit, making them a team to watch in the lower brackets. That is for certain. Don't forget, I'm going to reiterate this. Having young talent on the team, such as Sayonara and Zephy, is very smart from the members of Airavata. If they're able to build these players up from the ground and build a discipline into them that will serve Airavata for from many years to come, this team will be a super team in the near future when you think about it. Zephy, like, I don't know how to put this. We found Zephy a long time ago playing on a team. I think it was last year. At the end of last year, we saw him on a team playing. Instantly, he was a fan favorite. Now he's on Arvata. He's gaining even more experience, and you can see that experience is leading him to great success. Sayonara as well on the opposite side of the spectrum, being on that controller player and being able to do stuff like this. It's beautiful to see.
that it is. And yeah, as you mentioned, when you pick up some young guns and you train them, mold them according to the way your team would require them to be, you're definitely building yourself something that you can rely on for years and years to come. On that pathway, though, I have no idea how this scoreline is gonna open up now. Yet another tech pause, but is that gonna be enough to break the momentum from Airavata? Do you think Zero Frags is gonna be able to do something, pull some trick out of their hats that's just gonna go ahead and put them on the front foot of this fight?
It really does depend though. Zerofrags, they need to be a little bit more predominant in their overall approach because they've been taking things a little bit too slow, I would say. And unless they want to go in for a very fast rush, maybe sell a fake towards mid, I don't know how this is going to work for them. Because currently they're lacking a lot of map control. And playing
Exactly,
slow
yeah.
is fine, but unless they are doing it together and trying to fight for trades, it is not going to work that well for them.
Makes sense. I mean, in the first few rounds, it did feel like Zero Frags were more and more interested in trying to get as much real estate under themselves as possible to make sure that they're able to fight off the players coming from the opposite side. But that zeal just diminished very quickly into the game. And I've just not seen them come back up from that ruin. So I don't know.
There.
Seems pretty difficult to be zero frags right now, but if they can muster up the courage,
There.
probably, probably the results might still have a fighting chance for them hidden in there.
Go. I'm out of here.
It's
However,
going to
it's a
be
BO3.
interesting to say the very least.
I'm out of here.
Gone.
It is gonna be a BO3, so they do have more opportunities.
Gotta go.
But I believe it's not gonna matter how many chances you're given if you're not able to fix what's broken to begin with. And this is the lower brackets, so today is all you have. That's how the whole story is gonna be. Every single match, that match is all you have.
I like how Shadow is still training up his aim in the meantime. Always prone and serious. Sadly, the Croyd's not going to be here to showcase his true metal, but overall, for the members of Airavata, it's now time to just create a strategy where they're going to be able to fall back on. I would say that overall, for now, their defensive side is relying a lot more on reactive plays, and they're allowing Zerofrags to utilize all of their utility early on. And as they're entering onto the site, that's when they really start to take a hit, because at that moment is where your double duelist composition will really shine the brightest, because your opponents are not into their optimum positions anymore. They can't really synchronize their utility as properly, because don't forget, you're trying to synchronize a lot of your utility to help out a single duelist compared to two duelists who can set themselves up in the process. And Zephy, he's pretty much allowing Clandestine to be that initiator for him. An initiator duelist, a lot of people are going to say that Phoenix is a very self-sufficient duelist for a very particular reason. He can be an initiator as well if you play your cards right. And in a double duelist composition, he just brings so much onto the table, with a swing wall being one of them, plus having those flashes that two people can easily swing out from.
I can see what you're saying. And that definitely does help the duelists just set each other up, as well as give each other space to move around it. Because when Clandestine is going ahead and setting Zephy up for the entries, he can also then follow through behind him in a very aggressive manner, giving them all the advantages in the world. But yeah, that's definitely being visible on the scoreline as well. However, I do want to see how Zerofrags is going to retaliate onto it, because they do not have a lot of time on hands anymore, because 3 rounds is all that Airavata needs to win this map and close this off.
Go.
I'm going to need to see how this one's going to go for them.
I'm out of here.
Plus, I also believe
So-
Goal is very defensive favored map.
I mean, to an extent, Pearl is very defense favored, but at the same time, I would say that it falls into the middle. It's tough to explain, because Pearl as a map has a lot of different strengths and a lot of different weaknesses as well. So, in
If it is
general-
tough to explain, I want you to have to explain it. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a TLDR first. Pearl,
Okay.
yes, it's a little bit more defense favored, but it also depends on what kind of composition that you run, and there's multiple different variables that
Out of here.
could sway it in the favor of the attack as well. If, as a team, you know how to break down Pearl, I think the best example for Pearl would be the map of Sunset. Sunset, a lot of people say that it's a lot more of a defensive favorite map, but as soon as a team knows how to play that map, it turns into an attack favorite map, and anyone in the competitive scene will say the exact same.
Go.
Well, so far, do you think Zerofrags knows how to play Pearl in an attack favored way? Because they are on the attacking side and they need all the favor they can.
The other issue I do believe that Zerofrags are having on this map is not really them getting, how do I put it? Not really them not knowing how to play the map. I think they're just not able to predict what's going to happen next because of the double duelist composition. The speed at which these entries are happening, it's tough to try and break into, and as long as Shrey is alive and kicking, it's going to be an even more of a bigger issue! Beautifully done coming in from Dooley, and of course, Kami. My god, Zerofrags, 2 players just dismantled the entire play coming in from Arvata. They try to brute force their way in without slowing down. And the 2 members of Zerofrags held them down to the T.
Now I know what Zerofrags was doing all through the tech pause. They were breaking the curse. They had all their mats laid out, all those chants going on to go ahead and break that curse. They are showing up bright as the sunshine. But let's see if this is going to result into a snowball effect that can actually carry them towards an equalizer. I'm interested to see what happens next. Shadow is going to have the overdrive come up very quickly. Just 1 orb away.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Oh no. Batman getting a taste of his own medicine. It was his own idea to go ahead, hide in those smokes, and make those frags come in. And Zephy was the first person he took off from that smoke in the last half. So, revenge it is. Sweetly served.
Careful here.
That was a huge kill too. Being able to shut down the Cypher early just takes brings in a lot more options, for the defenders to really go in for flanks if they want to.
Yeah.
With the amount of information and map control now being given away, because Zerofrags don't really have that opening, this is going to be difficult to say the very least. A little bit of information gained though, because the Cypher not really present. Kami wasn't able to force their way in as quickly as they
30
wanted
seconds left.
on this B side. They have a read and they are going to be going in towards B, but as long as the Cypher is alive, plus with the run it back still available for the Phoenix, this could be suicide.
Lock it. Almost out. Go, go.
Might very well be.
10 seconds left.
With so much invested in the round already from the side of Airavata, it's definitely looking like one that they can capitalize on. But the numbers are slowly and steadily rolling in the favor of Zerofrags, but not for long.
Shadow.
7-11, this is very close. Very close for Airavata to be able to go ahead and close this off. I am not liking the odds for Zerofrags on this one.
Feel bad for Shadow in this instant. The poor guy, he had a judge in his hands, he didn't know where to go. He's like jumping around like a headless chicken. He has no idea where he needed to head into. Plus, his teammates were not even present to allow him to go in for a full push towards even B Link. We're in a tough spot.
I wish they were
overall.
though, because a neon with a judge can do a lot of damage.
Remember what I said, that the members of Airavata are allowing Zerofrags to come into the side, but the primary difference that they are trying to instill is they allow them to come into the side, but they do not allow them to go in for a plan properly or
Go, go.
even get into proper defensive positions, and that's their biggest strength.
True.
I know exactly where you are.
Okay, with information on where players
Goodbye,
are.
Sayonara.
Planted.
Wow.
I was wrong.
We all were. Sayonara was the only person who was right. His name is Goodbye. He said goodbye. Didn't receive it on the other end. But oh my goodness.
Last player standing.
What?
How did that happen? How does that happen?
That's just Airavata being at proper form. This was just chaos incarnate. First of all, Sayonara got the 2 kills. Okay, fine. It's just a Bucky, bro. And like, the best way to counter it, your ultimate, pull out the Bucky and just slap him with it. But then this happened. This was a perfect synchronization of peaks coming in from either side.
That goes there.
Swing in through from Art, an immediate fight coming in through the wall as well. They had everything that they needed. Airavata, they're pulling the strings here.
Goes here.
And they should be the ones to take this victory as well. The buys are not looking that favorable for the members of Zerofrags, and they're on the attacking side, mind you. Their strategy has been broken down over into pieces.
I am not very happy with the results of this one for the side of Zerofrags. I mean, Airavata is definitely doing wonders on this one, and I mean very well deservingly on the winning side of it. But look at that, Shadow does come in with a very early advantage created for the team. But then again, as you mentioned earlier, the team is not there to support their players, and now we're yet again seeing Airavata being on the man count
Last player
advantage
standing.
here. A big man count advantage now. It's literally a 1v3.
Not ready yet.
Tried to go in for a rush and they fell flat for it. Don't forget, this was a map pickup being made by the members of Zerofrags, so they have practice on this. They have strategies built for it, but this doesn't matter. The raw mechanical skill coming in from the members of Arvata is just so much better. It's good God. Every single one of these players, they just took their fights for free. They swung out at every turn and they were able to win. These kind of victories cannot easily be quantified to just having better strategy. They got aim diffed at every turn as well. Confidence in all of the members of Airavata were overflowing.
Absolutely. They're definitely soaring high with that confidence. And well, there were quite a few crucial moments that contributed to it. So let's take a look at those and find out what exactly went in the favor of Airavata and against Zero Frags.
Yeah, this was just such a beautiful surprise to say the very least. Because I expected Zerofrags to be the ones to lead the charge for it all, but as soon as I saw Zephy and Sayonara on the side of Airavata, I knew things are going to be so much more different. Then I witnessed the double duelist composition also come through. Every time I thought that this game could have gone in the favor of Zerofrags because of the amount of practice that they were putting in, everything got turned on its head because this double duelist composition just did not have a proper read. Both of the duelists were just running around and doing what the hell they wanted together as a team. The Phoenix was the primary initiator and the Neon just played based upon the information that was given by the Phoenix and the setups being done from that. It was beautiful to watch.
That it was. It was quite a delight to the eyes. The way the team was working from the side of Airavata, there was constant support from the duelists for each other, and there was also a good presence from the side of Decroids. As a Sova, he was also constantly able to go ahead and collect information for the duelists to feed upon and go ahead and execute on. So these three were just having a game of their own while the rest of them were still busy, strategizing. So I mean, you could also see it on the score lines altogether. Again, this particular round, Shrey, the way he executed it, constant jiggle peaks and wins.
Yeah, he just did whatever the hell he wanted at that regard. This was Shrey for you,
Oh,
man.
this.
He had a very slow start early on, but as soon as his team started picking everything up, everyone just came alive. That's what Arvata is as a team when you think about it. When you look at the scoreboard, it paints a better overall picture that because I'm Batman, yeah, he pulled off a phenomenal performance as expected by him, but up against players like Zephy, Decoit, Destine, Shrey, and Sayonara, it's just tough. Every
is.
single one of them performed out of their minds, and they had consistent performances, each one of them only being separated by one or two frags.
True that. There were good enough frags coming in from the side of Zero Frags as well, but it's not just about frags after all. You have to also convert those rounds into victory. So, altogether, like, Airavata just stood up better on the overall grounds. But yeah, I believe the next map could be something that's slightly different because, again, on Ascent, I don't think we're going to be seeing a double duelist comp, right? Right?
Maybe it's Ascent.
Maybe.
You never really
Okay.
count out Ascent, now do you?
True that.
It's one of those maps that always will surprise you with something that's completely unorthodox. Let it be a Killjoy, let it be a Deadlock, or maybe even a Euro. You never really know. Everything has its possibilities, especially when you consider Airavata being the ones to pull out a Phoenix and the Neon on the exact same map.
True.
This will be a real treat to watch.
Absolutely. However, the way the overall gameplay unfolded from the side of Arrow that does put you in a place where you wonder that Zerofrags did get thrown into a situation where they could not pick up their pieces. Are they going to be able to replicate the same for the next one? Is a question that I wonder about. But yeah, in the meanwhile, Zephy is going to be the MVP of this particular map. And as you mentioned, the Young Guns are definitely bleeding blue on this one.
They're making huge splashes here. And that's what you would have expected. Being trained up well, Arvata just has an asset on their team that's going to be very tough to beat. As he grows older and he grows wiser, that statement will still remain valid. But don't forget, this is still the first initial map, ladies and gentlemen, so there's still opportunities for these gods to bleed yet. Zaravata, they showcased a strong performance, but strong performances only last for so long. And don't forget, reproducibility is one of the biggest factors in the game of Valorant or any sports in general. You can't always rely on that one-stop performance every single time. That one-stop performance, yeah, it gives you a map, it gives you a round, but if you're not able to reproduce it often, that does not turn into a strategy. And hopefully everything that Airavata has shown here with this double duelist composition will be something that they're going to be able to utilize moving on down forward into map number 2 as well. And hey, speaking of map number 2, we are going to be setting everything up for that. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description as you are going to be waiting, because we're going to be heading on down over onto a very short little break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more Valorant action.
Hey guys, once again, welcome back to the action because when it comes to the Esports Club Showdown Series Season 6 of Valorant, we've already seen a lot of interesting matches, and eventually, the first one, the lower bracket circuit, to be honest, the first match was pretty amazing. We got to see 3 maps, and after that, if I'm not wrong, Anna, we have already seen a beautiful matchup, and in that, it was Airavata Esports who totally took the toll under their control. So, any speculations on what might happen next?
Well, I mean, I already talked about this a little before with aggressive as well, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
say the same again. I believe that for Zero
Okay.
Frags, Pearl was one of the maps that they would have been more comfortable on. But
Yeah.
once we walked into the match itself, it just took them completely by surprise. And on Ascent, I'm not that sure about them to begin with, so I don't know what the results are
Mhm.
gonna hold. That was their own map, and they lost on it. And this one is picked by Erawat to begin with, so you can really expect Airavata to cut it down on a 2-0, even though I hope it doesn't.
To be honest, the way season 6 has started, we all want to see a decider coming through. We want to see the third
Exactly.
map being there into the mix. So let's hope for the best. Let's see if the team is going to come back. Zerofrags.exe, a team which a lot of people have loved, a team which have already shown their caliber in the past seasons. Currently, they are failing, of course, but this is how the season is going to go. This is how the competitive spirit is going to get boost. But talking about
Mhm.
the attackers, guys, from Airavata, we have a Breach, a Sova. I don't know why people are not going for KO a lot, because even in the previous matchup we got to see a lot of breach picks coming through. But this time, I believe from the defense side, we do have a KO, which is going to be important enough. But we'll have to see what kind of strategies the other guys are going to build, because they are already on a hunt for their map point. Sorry, if they can get it, that would be great. It could be a 2-0 in their favor, and they can easily climb to the ladder in the lower bracket round 2. Let's wait and watch, because at the end, these agents, they're going to showcase the talents for sure.
Absolutely. Now, the thing is, I was expecting to see at least one Neon come into play on Ascent as well,
Okay.
even though that's not been the meta for a really long time. However, seeing both the teams going with the Jets is putting me in a place where I'm still, questioning how this is gonna unfold altogether. But yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I was definitely expecting to see a Neon in the mix. But yeah, with the very, I would say stale but more orthodox picks coming in for the side of Ascent. I think we're gonna see the usual gameplay itself on this map, because this map has just not had a very big meta shift for a really long time. And I think that's how it's gonna be for ages and
Agreed.
ages to come.
I mean, me and Aggressive were talking about the stuff that meta has changed slightly. Maybe a lot of people are lately using Deadlock a lot in this particular map. But let's dive into a fact. Team Zero Frags has demonstrated strong performances on the map of Ascent, achieving a 100% win rate in their recent matches. Okay. Maybe that is going to change as Arvata is on the hunt for their 2-0. Let's wait and watch if that's going to be the case.
Absolutely. It's going to be difficult for Zero Frags to fight back in that particular situation. But one thing that Aggressive kept mentioning over and over the last map round was that
Oof.
double duelist comp coming in from the side of Eravat was the reason Zero Frags wasn't able to fight back. And now that F
Right.
Noob is also back to play on that side, I think Zero Frags might just be looking forward to a completely different future. And this might just add to their 100% win rate.
That could be a great comeback for sure. Now it seems like that the manpower advantage is not at all there,
Oh,
but
no.
Detroit is going to find one. If Noob goes down, that was not a very good spot to fight with, because Batman is also holding, and he's a amazing individual, to be honest. The trigger discipline that this lad has got is something amazing. But obviously, when it comes to the game, it's not about a solo individual, as we have already seen what Shadow was capable of in the previous matchup, and then
Very.
other individuals like Zodiac. So I do think so. It needs to be a team effort where the combined synergy has to work. The trade wires has to be there. Detroit found a very good pick, which equalizes the number, and it's a good fake that they have actually already sold. Look at them
Yeah.
smoking the areas. They're like still pretty confused that maybe it's a hit, but no, it's actually a
30
B.
seconds left.
Will be able to go ahead and if he gets at least one, will be able to fight off the other as well. Not really to the end of it though. A little low HP on Shrey, however, it's a good enough plant and a good enough hold position for the side of Airavata. And that half a man turret is still gonna be able to fight this off. But yeah, the paper thin walls not gonna be as useful on a pistol round. So they do have to go ahead and take face-to-face fights. The intel is definitely
Beautiful.
communicated, I'm hoping. But Juice World has a world of havoc that can wreck on him.
Look at the HP. Like, he's down to 32 HP. He's down to a thin wire. I doubt that he's going to do something amazing out here. It's definitely a round that is going to go out of their hand. And there you go. Airavata opens up big with a 1-0 already in the name. 2 individuals surviving. And it's a pistol round that they have conquered. That means they will have a decent buy. They will have a bonus buy in their hands. And Shrey likes to go bold. Maybe he's going to go invest on a Vandal. But then shield is something that they're going to compromise on. So let's see if they want to commit in this way, because we've seen certain teams falling down whenever they win a pistol round, then they go all in with the bonus buy and then they kind of topple down. So their third and fourth round consecutively are out of their hands. So similar things should not happen out here at Airavata Esports. Now they have found a momentum and they're trying to carry that momentum from the previous map into this one. So let's just wait if they can fulfill their dreams of doing a 2-0 right now, because they already have infiltrated the market. But this copy region,
no.
Gabe, that's unfortunate. That always hurts.
It does. He had a good enough position, but he could not hold on to it. And I mean, it's a very risky position
Yes.
nonetheless. Zephy with that 4. Looking forward to his 5th. Will he get that though? Juice World coming in from the defensive spawn area. Goes ahead for the fight.
Hey,
Trey is
Shrey,
gonna
no,
deny
no.
that aim to his own teammate.
He's like, you might just keep on getting aces, man. I'm just going to collect this last frag and get it over with. But look at this. The last bullet just randomly connects onto the jet as well. Not randomly, but I mean, he was not even eyeing for that guy. But the last bullet just got connected. It was pretty amazing. And we have seen a lot of collateral today. I believe it was Swag in the previous matchup who got a lot of collateral frags out here. We can already see in the second round itself, Airavata Esports collecting some good frags. And now it's 2-0. They lost 2 individuals. Those 2 individuals have to obviously reinvest. So there will be a little bit of a economical constraint onto the lads of Airavata Esports. But still, I believe they do have a decent buy and a big enough confidence to pull through.
Absolutely. 2-0 currently is the map scoreline, but if they continue in this momentum, they might just have 2-0 series scoreline at the end of this one. So let's see how Airavata rolls. Shrey already taking care of F-Noob, one of the very crucial members from the side of Zerofrags, and just making things difficult for the team. Now with the Killjoy gone, there's definitely nobody to watch for backstabs,
Bro.
and that's just hard.
Man just literally walked right into the Odin. Got
That he
obliterated,
did.
but there's a trade. There's a trade. That's the best part. I mean, that's the most important thing when you are fighting a 5v5 battle. You need to have some trade fire being set up. Even if you lose, the other guy is going to cover up. Look at Sayonara. Again doing the same stuff. Now Shadow has taken Zephy. Let's see who's going to take that trade. There you go. It's Clandestine
Comes
who's
in
going to
very
take the trade.
quickly.
Yeah. Now the last man standing. Shadow. What can he do? Guard is already done. 1v1. Shrouded Strip. Confuses his opponent. Interesting. But Sayonara, you should not bid a farewell to this round. You need to clinch it so that you can win.
Absolutely. This is definitely a very difficult round nonetheless. Even though Zerofrags has won the round altogether, they already lost too much. This was their first buy round. They had all their weapons up and running, and they lost 4 of them with only 1 player surviving for the next. I don't think that's a very optimal situation for any team,
If anyone needs.
but it is what it is.
But these dark covers, I mean, you literally walk in and you get to see either a Omen or somebody else. This time it was an Odin that was peeking out of the face. Look at this, Juice World. Unfortunate situations, but yeah, guys, it's 2-1. That means once again, economical constraint will be there on Zerofrags.exe because of the fact that they lost 4 of their weapons. A Blade Storm being activated from Zephy. Tree smoked. Now, the alarm bar is there, but they need to break open this door and then push through. A Pano being queued in. This could be tough, and it is tough, of course, if he goes down. Detroit finds F-Noob. It's still a very good equation, and that's the worst part of having an Odin. If one good headshot is there on Ukrainium, you're down.
Spike down. One enemy remaining.
What?
True
Hello?
that. However, A
Batman?
good comeback from the side of Zerofrags. The way Batman is going ahead and making those numbers favorable for the team is definitely crucial. And Shadow will be able to close this down in a very fashionly manner with that Blade Storm just working in his favor. The score lines do look equalized now, and now the numbers are going to be way down below for the side of Airavata when it comes to economy. Surviving with just sheriffs and a mere guardian on their side. Let's see how much of an angel this one is going to be able to be.
Let's wait and watch. Fifth round already getting started, and it's B hit. It seems like that, but breach. Being an initiator, you need to be with the teammates. Those flashes, fault lines are going to be very, very important. But this guy wants to hit A. That's interesting. Maybe they're just trying to sell a fake onto B side and then eventually relocate back to A, because I can clearly see that the spike is dropped. But no
Oh.
client is seen. He was just standing still. Maybe there is a technical difficulty that he might be facing. That loss is obviously going to, in turn, impact Airavata's stand in this particular round, because it's an invested round. So let's see what happens. Oh, it's actually not an invested round. They're playing with sheriffs. Maybe some
Yep.
other weapons would be available, but let's see what's the result for this one.
It seems like Eravat has just frozen in their footsteps. They're not moving at all, not making a single sound. Trying to get Zerofrags to just go ahead and aggress forward. And I think that's when Eravat might start making their move. Seems to be a very odd positioning for the players of Eravat, though. Even if they want to just go ahead and keep waiting for the right moment.
30 seconds left.
I think there is a technical issue that these individuals from Airavata Esports is facing right now, and that's why they're just currently stuck. No, they want to fight now. Interesting. Stray, super low. Like 32 HP is not something that is going to cut the chance for you, and it's basically
Oh my god.
that puts the play down. But Zeph, look at him. Zephy, what a beautiful pick. Switching the weapon, gets spotted, but still
timing.
the plant will not happen because the time is not even there, and even the spike is miles away. But look at F-Noob holding the dark covers once again. Oh my god. Gabe on the other corner just blows Zephy's head away.
That Guardian did turn out to be a Guardian Angel for the team, but well, I don't think that's something they're going to be able to lean on to for a really long time.
Pause for now. We'll give a lot of time for both the teams to plan plot whatever they want to do in the near future and what kind of investments they're going to bring. But Zerofrags, they're taking this one pretty seriously, because we can clearly see from the third round itself, we got to see Odin's coming through. I mean, it's a big investment when you try to go with Odin, and eventually, if you have Odin, you mean business. And that too in the map of Ascent with those paper thin walls, we can clearly see how effective a Odin can be. And Zerofrags, they are sticking to the very OG meta. They are not even switching even a single agent from the meta. They do have KO to suppress with the 0 point, and then eventually the recons that can come through from the recon dart coming in from Juice World, and following it up with a lot of Odin Fire can easily give you the benefit. That's exactly what these guys are eyeing for. But still, if you see Airavata Esports is not that behind. They have a score of 2 rounds. That was the first round and the bonus by round. And when you talk about the map of Ascent, it's kind of a map where if you can kind of set up your defenses in an accurate way, you can easily bag out a lead in your favor, get some good rounds in your name, and that's exactly what the player is trying to get. And I think it's Dewey Gabe, maybe. He's facing some difficulties, now he's back. We'll wait, we'll wait and get to see what happens in the 6th one. Because honestly, Airavata Esports was on a good roll, but seems like that lately, Zerofrags.exe have got a very good idea of what the other team is capable of, and they are just cutting them short every now and then.
I agree. I agree. I mean, as I was talking about before we came back from the first tech pause, is like as expected from the side of Eravat, if they do go ahead for something completely, unorthodox, something completely made on the whim, on the go, then they are able to
Right.
throw Zerofrags off completely off their game. But then again, I don't believe the same can happen on a map like Ascent, where you generally go ahead and follow through the same exact patterns as people have been for a really long time. So, just like Zerofrags ended up losing on their own map, Airavata might lose on their own as well, because like having to follow through a specific set of rules puts you in a place where you are opposed by another force that can do the same exactly. I mean, the problem in the first map was that Zerofrags had to play a very reactive gameplay instead of have anything planned on their own from the beginning. The
Mhm.
same cannot be said for Ascent, though.
Yeah, while you're sitting on the defense sides, you definitely can plan your attacks. You definitely can figure out which angle you need to hold. And after losing the first 2 rounds, the way they have given a comeback in this particular map is also pretty huge. But still, guys, remember, 7 more rounds are left. And these 7 rounds in the first half, many things can change. There could be a complete chaos being brewed. Maybe there is a scoreline of 9-3 or even 8-4, or let's just go with 7-5. That is a possibility. I would like to wait, and then obviously as rounds goes on, as we get to see some crucial buys coming through, we have not yet seen 5 rounds are done, but we have not yet seen any operator action. So maybe that's exactly what we are going to see in the near future. Shadow can be good at it, and Shadow already is popping off a lot. He's down to like 7 frags, and Ziffy on the other corner has also got 8. So battle of these two jets are going to be very interesting in these 24 rounds that we have got in the second map. But the biggest question that is going to be there in our hearts is that, is it a 2-0 or a 1-1 after the end of this map of Ascent? Because if it's a 1-1, we'll get to see the decider just like the previous matchup today. And that will be fun because it's season 6. It's supposed to happen. The competition is supposed to go up.
Absolutely agree on that one with you, Raider. I am, however, like already surprised because last time around when we saw Zerofrags, they were way far deep into the competition. They, I think,
Right.
lost in the semi-finals or something like that. But this time they're already in the lower brackets and almost look like they might not be able to go forward from here. So I'm kind of surprised at how much the teams have polished themselves to put themselves in a place where they're able to literally dethrone the players who were almost gonna be claiming that victory for themselves in the last season and just put them in such difficult pickles in the beginning of the playoffs itself. So there's definitely much more competition coming in this time around and absolutely something I'm up for. Looking forward to nonetheless.
Yeah. You talk about where Zero Frags was standing in the season 5. I believe they went down to like lower bracket round 3. That is again a very big leap. But from season 4 to the following seasons like season 5 and now even in season 6, we can clearly see that Zero Frags as a team, they are not performing in that manner, or maybe their opponents are even better right now because meta is evolving, newer maps are coming through, there are changes in the map. Like if you talk about Sunset, for attackers now it has become a heaven. You can push in, you can have good covers while planting and then eventually retaliate. But obviously there is a time period that has already passed, so people have figured out how they want to penetrate Sunset and how those defenses are going to work, and all of the things are going to be favorable for them. So I do believe that things have changed a lot. Agents, there have been
Also,
nerfs, there have been buffs. Yeah.
also the team itself has been changing a lot for
Yeah,
the set of Zero
shuffles.
Flags.
Right.
They have only two players from the prior roster sustaining in the team even so far, and everyone else is changed. So that too is something that they have to adapt to and play with before they're able to become as comfortable and perform in the same manner as before. I am not very happy with the switch for Batman. I used to love seeing that guy on a neon and he was actually wreaking havoc. He is still doing good as a cipher, but I think with that mobility, with being a duelist, he was able to feed a lot of confidence to his teammates while the game was going on.
Agreed. I mean, there has been a lot of role changes, to be honest, and that in itself tests you as a player. That can you adapt along the way, because you might go into a particular team which is not looking for a duelist. They might be looking for a controller, and you have a good trigger discipline. You do have a good aim. So, if you shift your roles and if you are still successful, I think that is going to add on to the newer team, which has been the case for a lot of individuals. Like if you talk about Swag, he has been a guy who has shifted his meta a lot. Now every now and then we get to see him playing initiator, initially a duelist, then in a brief period he also played a lot of controllers, so that clearly shows that there has to be adaptability if you really want to be on par. But at the same point, being the Sentinel, it's not easy. I do believe that Sentinel is one of those individuals whose trigger discipline, whose aim needs to be absolute perfect, and maybe even the highest from the all other teammates. Because a Sentinel goes on the luck, he needs to always take a 1v1 duel, put the team in a good spot. So all of that is something which can impact a lot. But at the end, if you talk about Batman, now in the map of Ascent, he's playing a KO, and so far he has found some decent value with his weapon. So I'm looking forward to see what happens, because there's just 5 rounds, sorry, that has happened. So we cannot really jump to conclusions. But given that the first map was already in the favor of Airavata Esports and the way they opened up in this particular map of Ascent, things might be in their favor. But seems like that in the later phase, these 3 rounds that has been slipped away from their hands, that is something which can be
Track them
detrimental
down.
onto their equation. But guys, it is going to be an equation where we might get to see the continuation of a 4v5 fight. Detroit, he's away, but the other four, they are willing to fight, they are willing to retaliate. That's how the rules are meant to be followed.
Absolutely. Well, walking into this particular fight, there was a double swing coming in. I did not see enough support for the side of Zephy. However, the team is gonna be good enough in being able to balance the numbers around. So now it's a 3v4. Zerofrags is not gonna be able to sustain those players for very long.
Bomb grenade out.
He is like a beast at this point. It's basically a 3v2 right now, guys, because Detroit is away on the spawn. The way Shree is performing is something amazing. Like, he's down to 10 HP, but he's still got 2 frags. That's why I said, I mean, the Sentinels needs to have a good aim in their favor. Then only they can find that value, because whenever you try to confront your opponent in a 1v1 battle, you're down to like a thin wire of HP. On those moments, I believe the trigger discipline matters the most, but that was just a random shot that went through, and the 10 HP guy just went down. Shouted step just to escape. 2v2, a breach, and a Omen against an Omen and a Sova. This is going to be fun, but the Odin is not going to work. Clandestine holding up a very good angle, and there goes a 3v3 fight in the favor of Airavata Esports. That was a brilliant round coming in, because if you see, Zephy was taken down at A main way too early. But after that, these 3 guys, they performed. They were able to find the value, all thanks to Shrey. He got some good picks onto B mains, and that's why there was an entry on the B side.
Even while playing 4v5, Eravat goes ahead and wins yet another round. Okay, absolutely. That happens every day, doesn't it?
Well, it's a tactical
I'm just
timeout that is going to happen for now.
Mhm.
Go on.
I'm just completely impressed by the way Airavata is playing. Like, it wasn't a very easy round. There was definitely a lot of retaliation coming in from the side of Zerofrags. Specifically,
Exactly.
the way Juice World went berserks with his Odin put them in a lot of difficulty, but they were able to come back from all of it. And not only come back from it, they were able to win that fight and get back to their base with one weapon recovered. It's just one single weapon, but it's still something to add to the economy nonetheless. And that to being in the team that was already running on a disadvantage. This time around, they do have a couple of ultimates online for their team, so let's see how that's going to unfold.
Right. Talking about the ultimates, null command is available. You have the lockdown to go for the postman scenario. Even a very expensive recon is going to be available with that Omen. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun to watch how all of that happens. But at the same point, we have 2 ultimates also available from the attackers. That is, of course, the lockdown and the rolling thunder. In order to flood a particular site, I think that rolling thunder can be very beneficial. But at the same point, you need to like then come from different angles, spin around your opponents, find some good spots to hit on, and then only there is a good value that you're going to get. Again, technical timeout has been taken away, I believe. So they're just waiting for their friendly Sova to come back, because if you don't have the hunter in this map, you can be hunted itself.
True that. Sova and his Odin are just completely infamous on the map of Ascent for very obvious reasons. All these paper thin walls definitely require you to have information to be able to shoot from the other side of it, from the cover of it all. I would be more than delighted to see all 5 on board, but let's see how far we can
Yeah,
wait for that.
of course. I mean, Airavata Esports knows that they do have a very serious advantage in their favor. And it's not that you're talking about the upper bracket, it's the lower bracket where Arvata is standing right now against their opponent, Zerofrags. So if they
Yeah.
have an advantage, they would like to cash in till the end. They would like to go to the lower bracket round two. Whatever happens over there is obviously a different story, and we'll get to talk about that in a day or two. But for now, what Airavata needs is a spot in the lower bracket round two. And for that, they are just trying their level best. Even with the four-man power, if you talk about the latest round, it was a very beautiful battle coming in from their corner because Breach and the Jet, Zephy, they tried to go ahead and infiltrate A, where the Jet got compromised. Instantaneously, we got to see a trade fire coming in from the other guy. But the way Shrey played on B, that was the best part because he cleared not just one but two individuals, a duelist and I believe an initiator, that was Sova. He cleared two of them, and then they got a very good entry. After that, of course, a very unfortunate scenario happened. Sova just came in, had that Odin in his hand, and just shot some bullets. It got connected because he was down to like 10 HP. So he went down, but
Yeah.
still, the other two individuals held up the round pretty well in their favor. So that really was a good round, and that was just a kind of insight of what Airavata can do. They were playing with four men, but they still were able to win a battle. That too, while being the attackers, not being the defenders.
True. On a map that is heavily defense favored.
Exactly.
Not only that, they've also pushed Zero Frags in a position which is going to be hard to fight back from because, again, they do have three ultimates online, but none which is going to be able to put them in a place where they can compromise one of their weapons. Like if the Blade Storm was online, they could go ahead and expect the Jet to play on that and not have to invest in a weapon for her. Instead, use that money to go ahead and buy someone else a Vandal. But with a Hero Vandal and a Stinger in the mix, we will be seeing Zero Frags go in with a very broken buy for themselves. On the other hand, though, Eravat will have all the economy to go ahead for whatever weapons they want in whichever manner they want to play with.
True. They have a good buy, but I think they will be eyeing to just completely get this round also under their control because if they lose this one, again, they'll be facing the same situation as where Shadow and the other teammates are holding up right now. But let's now dive into the stats as well, guys. Stats for the nerds are going to come through. Maybe we are also getting ready pretty soon. So yeah, we would love to dive into the action as well because now 6 rounds are done. And these technical pauses, tactical timers are just making me anxious at what might happen
They
next.
are. True that. But the longer you have to wait, the better the dishes are served. So let's just keep our hopes on that and see how this one is gonna play out. This time around, I'm seeing heavy presence from the side of Erawath towards site A, while on site A, I'm not seeing as much reinforcement from the side of Zero Frags. It's just two players waiting out here with no utilities dumped to prevent any entry from happening. They are probably going to want to play this on retake completely, and they already have a man count disadvantage to handle. So let's see how this unfolds. This is not looking very good so far.
Oh my god.
Zephy?
See, when they can win a battle in a 4v5 equation,
Bot coming back.
They can definitely win one when they have all fives on board and maybe in a flawless manner. Let's turn that maybe into a completely that's just another fact for the fact box. We have a completely flawless round for Airavata. With
yeah.
4-3 on the scoreline, we're seeing Airavata just constantly trampling on the dreams and hopes of Zero Frags here. What do you
What?
think, Radiant?
Why, Shrey? Yeah, I think so that the dreams are getting crushed at this point because the way Airavata is just marching in right now and they're just getting rounds under their favor is something amazing. But I think Shadow can stop that. With that operator, he can completely punish his opponent,
the spike.
push them back, and eat away that manpower, that confidence that Airavata is rolling on right now. Because they are those triumphant elephants right now who are just marching in every single corner. Wherever they peak, they get some good values. And as you rightly got it out, the previous one was a flawless. So that is in turn again going to boost their confidence. Look at these shots. The player needs to push back, not retaliate. That is what is happening whenever they fight a battle against Arvata. But that turret is still going to stand strong.
That it did. However, looking back at how the map is right now, it seems like there's a shift of plans, a change of plans, and Eravat is now trying to march towards side B, go ahead and have their dominance. They have the complete site to themselves. Not only that, they are going to be able to utilize their ultimates here very well as well. A null command has been used from the side of Zerofrags, not to a lot of result just yet.
You should run.
But look at that. The lockdown is gonna come in from Airavata. They have their Hunter's Fury on as well. If there ever comes a chance that Zerofrags goes ahead and uses their lockdown for the retaliation to it. But the position on F move. Oh, he gave it away.
Alarm bot out.
F noob. He tried, but failed. Gabe on the other corner came back to get the frag on the copy, but the time is
One
running
enemy
low.
remaining.
Gabe once again finds the frag. It's a 3k for Gabe already. Down to the last man standing. Detroit is going to be the guy. He waited for you long enough. Now you need to fight back and get your team around. He will get it as there is no time to go for a defusal. I do believe that. Oh my god, brilliant save coming in from Detroit. He knew that he might go down, but he needed to like put the woman away so that whoever is left, if he tries to go for a defusal, there is no time left. Brilliant play coming in from the sides of Airavata Esports. This one was a little bit close because of the fact that the null command came through. There were no utils to use from the sides of team Airavata Esports. Like I got to saw that Breach was available with the Rolling Thunder, and that one Rolling Thunder could have changed everything if there was a push coming in from the sides of Zerofrags. But all thanks to KO, the null command, he was like, yeah, I'm going to just sit, relax in the cubby.
Yeah. Two ultimates still got invested from the side of Airavata in the last round. It was a very highly expensive round nonetheless, but I do believe that they must be happy with the resultant of it nonetheless, because Zero Frags, it was a crucial round. They needed it. They desperately needed it.
Right.
And they had to wash their hands from it. Being on the defensive side and still trailing on the scoreline is not the best position for any team on a map of Ascent. And Zerofrags is having to go through it while already being on the trailing line of the series map score.
Yeah. Not a very good side for them. But all in all, this round is going to be very, very important. But at the same point, we can clearly see that they just have economy to buy maybe a Bulldog, a Guardian. Not a full buy is going to come through, so that is pretty tough. And talking about the ultimates, once again, decent ultimates are available. We have the Defenders, Lockdown available. The Recon coming in from that Omen can actually work a lot. But where's that Operator? It's not going to be effective enough in this one. Airavata Esports, once again, they are timing their attack. They are not being that aggressive as they were in the, should I say, 6th round. They just went all in because they knew that the opponents were like pretty much on an economical disadvantage. But this time they do have some weapons, so that's why Shrey and his teammates are just trying to time their attack. Remember Shrey? He is clearing B mains every now and then, so it's basically like a redemption fight for Juice WRLD if he can put Shrey down.
True that. But the weaponry on Juice WRLD is not going to be very good to be able to... Oh, actually,
Nice
never
for the
mind.
Vandal.
Juice WRLD is the one with the Vandal. Yeah, he's the only one with a good enough weaponry up here. And he's the one who loses the battle as well. So now the one good AR you had is not even in the game anymore.
You have
But you do
Singer.
have Batman. Yeah.
You have Singers and Bulldogs coming through, but then again, Sayonara is going to bid farewell to
30
Julie Gabe,
seconds left.
and at the same point, Detroit is going to find one more wall bangable headshot onto his opponent. So it's down to a 2v3. This owl drone is going to get all the info that's required, and in order to just check out the CT spawn, there goes a recon dart. Shrey is holding a very good spot as well. If somebody tries to cross, which could be probably Noob,
One enemy
he's going to just put
remaining.
him away. There goes Shadow. One last member standing, and it's F Noob. His position has been revealed, but he will still find one frag. Oh my god, I just thought for a moment maybe he's going to take the third one as well.
He could have. Trust me. The way FNU plays, there's a reason he has so many fans out there on the boards. But yeah, could not turn the complete game in his favor. Did drop a couple of weapons, and that's all he could do in that particular round. But now the scoreline just looks very strong for the side of Airavata. Even if they walk in with an equalized scoreline to the second half, you could say that they're on the winning side of it because they're on the attacking side of it right now. So you never know. There is an Odin coming in from the side of Zerofrags though, so I'm pretty optimistic towards what can be done there.
What?
Did he
Shadow?
just put down the operator already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
happens every day.
Batman, you're
Nothing
not
new.
going to save the city. But this is compy and Zerofrags is already on the losing end. Why would you do that? I mean, he tried, to be honest, like 100 points for the trial. That was there. Shadow utilized the dash and eventually put up the cloudburst as well. But it's just Zephy is better. He knew that way the player is going to go because he himself is a jet. And as I said also in the break, that it's basically a duel between the jets. Both of them top fraggers of their own team, leading their team to a good victory. Plant is already done. Look at this. Plant has happened on B, and these guys are hunting their opponents out there on A mains and different angles like that. But Juice World, he's going to find clandestine, and so does Gabe. He's going to put down Shrey. I think this over extinction is not something that they're going to be happy about, but still they will be happy about one thing, that they will have a 7-3 scoreline now.
True that. Definitely a good enough scoreline to go on with, but that's about it. I don't think that there was any requirement to go ahead and extend that fight, but considering how much the economy of Zero Frags has already taken hits, how little they have to hope and wish with, and how much Airavata has in store for themselves. Considering both those things, I feel like I think it was a calculated risk because if they do get frags, they are going to be putting Zero Frags in a place where they cannot come back from in those shambles of economy. But for themselves, it wasn't really a loss.
They're trying to march in Zero Frags with those sheriffs and all. And Decroid is going to find the first one, but that fragment found clandestine. They stormed, the last one didn't work. Maybe this one is also going to have the same fate. Nano Swarms. He knows where Jugabe is. The Gabe is just going to put him away. Here comes the shortest step, and the defenders. The lockdown is also being utilized. They're just trying to confuse their opponents, which they are successful at. But the fact is, they have the spike, and they're just going to completely leave behind the A side. Maybe they're just trying to sell a fake. But look at this. Dewey is there in the bottom mid. So he has got all the info regarding any rotations. So he has given the info to his teammates that yeah, it's not a rotation that is going to happen. It's basically an A hit, but they're still trying to take some precautions, which is actually good.
True that. However, having your players scattered around that much, being on the defensive side, is one of the biggest disadvantages that you can walk into because now the attackers can orchestrate themselves to move
30 seconds
all together at any fight and work on the trades because that's how Airavata has been taking fights. We've noticed it time and again. Not only that, Airavata is also looking forward to go ahead and find themselves that Hunter's Fury, which they will be able to use in the next round now because now their players have already bid farewell. It's a 1v4 and none v4. There we go.
Yeah. They tried, they tried.
Last round.
I mean, at the end, Zero Frags had to tell their opponent that you are also humans, you will make mistake, and we'll capitalize on that. Airavata Esports, so far they were looking wonderful, but this one round clearly tells us that there are some weak spots which the opponent can hit on. And in the initial few rounds, we got to see that Airavata was selling a lot of fakes, and the other team was just completely buying it. Zero Frags was just getting confused regarding with that. But this time, the way that Omen was placed on the bottom mid,
Here.
that was the game changer placement of a agent, to be honest, because if you have somebody in the mid, you can get all the info regarding a fake, regarding a rotation and all that they were able to benefit with. But a judge, Shadow, this judge can be visible. Let's see if he's going to get spotted.
Oh,
He did!
no.
Spike
He
down
did get
A.
spotted. Gabe on the other corner will collect his frag, but still miles to go ahead in order to come back.
Wanted to set up a beautiful play there, but well, neither did it work for Sharon nor did it work for Zephy. Gabe, I'm just liking the sneaky positions that Zero Frags are holding, and Airavata, with time, they have gotten themselves so much lured by the confidence of their own team that they have forgotten to check corners now. They're making one very simple mistake, not checking their corners, not looking around before leaping.
Right.
And that's just putting them in a world of trouble. I mean, this could literally
Yeah.
have been an 8-4, and it's a 7-5.
Agreed. Agreed. The sound could have been theirs, and they could have easily found a very good balance in it. But anyway, guys, 7-5 it is. That for us casters, for our audience, it's going to be fun. But for Airavata
Yeah.
Esports, they'll be like, yeah, man, this could have been an advantage that we could have cashed in. Still, I believe they can cash in the advantage by going in mid. Actually, they are the defenders, so they will be looking forward to see if somebody is going to push through mid. But it's basically a B hit, which can be capitalized because of the fact that we have a Sova and a KJ holding up the B side. On A, there is a big stronghold being developed. Maybe Breach is going to rotate from mid. You never know because I have not yet seen how Zerofrags is also going to reciprocate to all of that. But Shadow, he brings in the frenzy. Not going to be friendly enough, I believe. Oh,
Absolutely. Lost way too much HP though in the process of having to fight
Yeah.
that turret.
no, not the turret. It was a wall-bangable sheriff shot.
Oh, I missed that.
Spike down.
But look at this Stray clandestine. He came from back. They're ripping apart their opponents. Zephy is going to find Juice World, and it is down to the last man standing. Paranoia, player is low, and there comes a right click. There you go. 8-5.
Even after making all those mistakes, you can always see Airavata just coming back up on top, being the victors of their own fate, being the writers of their own fate nonetheless. The way this team is playing so far, it just makes me wonder, was it just a bad hand dealt to Zerofrags that they had to go up against this team right now? They could have had a longer run into
Yeah.
the game if they were up against someone else. But yeah, the competition is getting tougher every single season. And this just goes on to remark that.
Right here.
Testimony of how the teams have evolved. Of course, the roster shuffles and all of that is something that we can count on. But Shadow, bro, is super low, and eventually Guardian finds the way to shut him away. Now, Juice World, he's gonna
Oh,
be
nice.
also getting picked off. Beautiful angle being held by Shrey, because you usually expect that somebody is going to hold the mains, not that tubby angle. But Clandestine on the other corner, he finds the third one. No, that bonus is not going to be in their favor. It's a flawless round, and the player has been floored. That was Dewey Cape. And I think just like what happened in the previous match in lower bracket round number 1, where Exo's Shadow and the other individuals were doing some great stuff, I believe out here it is going to be for sure Dewey Gabe, because he, on a controller, the way his 1v1 duels are being dealt, it's absolutely amazing, because he's giving a very fierce competition to his opponents, honestly.
True that. True that. We were thinking it's gonna be a battle of the Jets, but the Jet from the side of ZFR is not doing much right now, and it seems like the controller has taken control over the fact that a duelist needs to do that job. I mean, just climbing those numbers pretty strongly. Anywho, with the suppression in place, there's definitely a holdback for the side of defense, but I'm not seeing much aggression coming in from the attacking side on that either. So you invested a util and did not make yourself enough room to follow through with it. So I don't know what's up.
They just tried to gain some info that who is holding the mains, and they got 2 individuals suppressed, so they do know that at least 2 of them are actually on A. They still want to commit. Now that's where I think the decision might go wrong.
Exactly.
Completely evades. After shock, it is going to push the players away. Oh, barely misses Zip. But still, there is certain connections being made. Batman is actually down to like 30% HP. Another recon. But now it is going to be a B hit for sure. Look at them marching towards the B side, but that turret, put it away. KJ has got all the info that is required. And even in the mid, we have the Jet trying to relocate, trying to push around. But this owl drone is going to give up a lot of info. There comes a Nano Swarm, and a beautiful headshot being connected on Batman. That Nano Swarm is going to take the trade. That's a good one. Wow, Zeph.
Absolutely. This is just mesmerizing the way these rounds are unfolding constantly. Shadow yet again on a very low HP. The utils being used from the side of Airavata already making things difficult for the side of ZFR. However, there's still hope. There's still hope. It's a 2v2, but never mind. I don't think the hope can be wished on for longer. Can it?
For it.
Can
Wait
it?
for,
No.
oh, okay.
Not ready yet.
Cool. Juice World, he was like, yeah man, we have lost enough rounds. This one needs to be there in our favor. Good one. 6-9 is the scoreline that we have right now, and now Zerofrags they can find themselves back, but obviously the economical disadvantage is something that is going to be uncanny. But the way Juicewell played out here, specifically the way he was able to put down Omen, that was good. That was very necessary fight that needed to be dealt with. Now, once again, let's see what kind of approach Airavata Esports is going to bring into the table, because so far they're not looking that shaky, honestly. Like, there are certain moments where you kind of completely put your opponents off guard, but that is not happening. Look at this aggression from Zephy.
Oh
No,
my
you're not playing the
goodness.
attacking half. You are on the defense. But these guys are like, let it go. We're going to fight. We're going to retaliate. Batman was about to save his city.
He was about to. But yeah, I mean, the last to last round, it was literally the full buy round for the side of ZFR. They come in with all their weapons up and ready for the fight, and then they lose 4 of them. They're again in economical shambles. And then in this particular fight, they again end up losing completely by only taking 2 players off of Airavata. They are not able to find even enough stability to go ahead and establish a good firepower for themselves, let alone be able to win this out. Airavata is too close to a scoreline that can close this match for them. Look at
There
Zephy.
you go.
Just
Batman goes down.
unstoppable.
Yeah, they do know that there is a very good buy that they have, and the other opponents, they don't have that kind of a bias. He's super good. The aim, the trigger is playing, the kind of insights that this guy has got. Sayonara on the other corner is like, yeah, I'm Zephy's competition. But
Both the young'uns just out to play. They're just finding their opponents. It's like,
yeah,
I mean,
it
makes
was a
sense.
2v5
It's about
round.
to be 6 o'clock, right?
yeah.
It's time they need to go ahead play hide and seek.
And that too, it was a 2v5. 2 for Roman,
Yep.
3 for Zephy the Jet. That shows where the team is standing, but we cannot be that harsh to Zerofrags because it was economical round for them. Let's hope that they're going to come back. Look at F-Noob, sneaky little individual who just came from the CD spawn, shot the player, took the weapon, tried to fight back, but nevertheless it never really worked out for them. 11 to 6, one round away from the series point 2 from the victory.
Careful.
Already being scary, the players from Airavata. Decroit just using that Odin, shooing people away from side B completely. Zephy is gonna be aggressive yet again, and I don't think this is the right time for it. I think the last 2 rounds, sure, you had your fun, but this round isn't one where he should be going that way forward.
Blocking sight.
Never mind me. I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean-
I'll admit.
My ult's ready.
Look at this. Why F-Noob? Hello. He had every angle to be dealt with, but still he failed in that 1v1 play. Another one maybe? Jet. Oh, Rolling Thunder. Yeah, there you go. Bring in the biggest arsenal that you have. Bring in the Rolling Thunder. Shorty, where's the other guy? He's also going to get
Oh,
taken away.
goodness.
Now, Dewey Give once again becomes the last man standing, and it's a shorter step that he has utilized. He's down there on the right. And he just surprises his
30
opponent.
seconds left.
Wait,
For how
wow.
long though?
Lol. Bye-bye.
Sayonara, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Match point.
I mean, the ultimate was funny to be honest because he utilized his ult to go back to like CT spawn, and right there,
Yeah.
Breach was like, "Yeah, hello, bro, I'm here." And then he tried to run away with the spike, and that at that moment, Sayonara was like, "I'm also here." So he had no way to go, honestly.
True that. Sayonara is one of those people that if he sees you before he finishes saying hello, it's time for him to say goodbye.
Yeah.
You
That's
cannot
one way to
stay
go for
alive
it.
long enough in front of him. But yeah, a possible last round of the whole game.
It's good that we can see a plant happening, but there's a backstab. But once again, Zephy, your Blade Storm is not going to be effective enough. And here comes a Null Commander as well. Clandestine finds 1. Batman is going to take 2 away. F-Noob. Lovely. It is not the last round, guys. Wait. They have something to offer. They want to come back. They want to retaliate. but there
There's
will be
still some
no
flame.
economical disadvantage. Yeah, but there will be no economical disadvantage that Airavata is going to have. They will easily go for a full buy and then once again come back. Maybe not Detroit, because he was pretty keen on buying a lot of Odins in every round, in every other particular round. But yeah, that Ares is something which is also pretty scary.
Exactly, just got in the younger brother. Oh no. This is not getting any easier. But yes, if yet again, one more time, ZFR is able to pull one through for themselves, we can hope
Yeah.
for them to be on a roll to find themselves an overtime. It's still a very far fetched thought, but not an impossible one.
Agreed. Detroit is waiting for even a slightest moment coming in from their opponents. And then go with that Odin. Look at that. He spotted the player, tried to shoot him, but eventually the other wall is not that wall
Blowing
bangable.
drone.
Yeah.
Another owl drone trying to just get the info if somebody is still out there. No, they're trying to infiltrate mid, but we do have bot, Lambot. No, Lambot got destroyed with a nano swarm, but the user of that nano swarm is also destroyed. F-Noob has been taken away by Zephy.
With Fnoob gone being on the attacking side, it's definitely a scary call for ZFR because, as we know, the players of Airavata are not hesitant in playing super aggressive on their defensive side. So you can expect them to actually go ahead and wrap these people around. However, with
Oh,
the
look at
lockdown
that.
in place, Airavata has much more to hope for. Maybe not.
Gabe,
Our spike carrier is dead.
that was fun, but Detroit is still there in the boathouse. Finally, Shadow is going to put him to sleep, but the last man standing, that is Shadow. Flashpoint,
Planted.
but the plant is done. Blade Storm activated. Let's see if something magical is going to happen out there. Might find the first frag, but no!
Okay.
There you go, this is it! It is 13-7, and if I'm not wrong, guys, it is a deja vu because exactly similar scoreline was there in the map 1 as well.
Yup. Same exact scoreline. With same exact results. Yup.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely. But this round, I mean, Detroit was taken away, but after that, the other guy that was there on Rafter should have not got KO'd because if he would have survived, maybe there was a good support for the Jet. But yeah, all said and done. Brilliant play coming in from the sides of course, Airavata Esports. Zerofrags, they tried their level best, to be honest. There were certain bursts of momentums where we got to see some fragging potential from their corner, some brilliant usage of flanks and all. But still, at the end, it was Airavata Esports who was like reading them like a textbook, and they knew what is the next step that the opponents are going to take.
True that. Airavata not only was being, absolutely brilliant on individual levels, but also playing very well together as a team. And that's
Yeah.
something I think was not expected from a team that had such young lads playing for them. And I'm just surprised with the performance they brought on the tables. I thought this one was definitely going to be one of the series where we go to the third map.
Nevertheless, let's go with the crucial moments. Let's see what are those moments which kind of changed the game. And in these moments, you can clearly see those collateral frags coming in right there in the second round. And after that, through the smoke, Odin. Initially, it was looking like a very fun map, but in the later part, we got to see a fierce competition coming in from both the sides.
Absolutely. Airavata, though, the way these players have played is just completely, out of the box. And specifically Zephy. This man, unstoppable, uncontrollable, and constantly being, challenged by Sayonara from his own team. For both of them to just keep claiming more and more heads in this game. F-Noob
Exactly.
just felt a little bit lackluster today compared to all the other times that I've seen him. I wanted to see more of these guys. ZFR, it's an unfortunate loss.
It is, and that too when Airavata was playing at least 3 rounds with a 4-man scenario.
Yep.
They played at least 2 to 3 rounds where they were playing in a 4v5 battle. Still, they won 2 rounds out of those 3s, I believe, or maybe 1 round out of those 2 rounds where they were undermined when it comes to the manpower. But then Gabe started playing some sneaky battles, and out there it was pretty fun. But the way this pistol round was snagged away, na, that is exactly where the game completely changed, because it was a 7-5 scoreline, pretty doable to be honest. If they would have
Yep.
won the pistol round and the scoreline could have been 7-7, maybe, just maybe, there was a chance that those guys could have snagged this map under their control. But anyway, the pistol round went down, the bonus buy went down, and after that it was just a steady incline coming in from the sides of Airavata Esports. And as I said, there were certain bursts of momentums, and that was just 2 rounds that Zerofrags got in the later phase in the second half. But the aggression that these guys were bringing in Airavata Esports, to be honest, because they knew that there is a economical disadvantage onto their opponent, so they just utilize all those dashes or brass and whatnot to just completely shut their opponent away and break their mental.
True that. The way Airavata just went ahead and calculated every single move that was to come next and also executed it very successfully, it was just unimaginable. I'm pretty worried about whoever they're going to be facing next. However, also knowing that they are on the lower brackets, they are in the lower brackets. Imagine the teams who put them there. It's gonna be quite a roller coaster the next
Exactly.
day that we come here and watch the teams who are in the upper brackets play alongside, because this is just completely, I mean, a whole new level of gameplay that has been achieved. And look at Zephy, oh my god, it was a 20 round game,
Mm-hmm.
and my man has 27 frags for himself.
And 7 first kills, ACS of
Yep.
384. That shows the potential, that shows the brilliance of this individual. And of course, when it comes to individuals like Sayonara, in certain rounds he was like, yeah, Zephy, see, even I am capable of getting all those frags, giving the value. But obviously, being a controller, you need to smoke, you need to build a play for your team, be it the attacking half or the defensive half. So that's exactly what happened.
True that. There was definitely a lot coming in from the side of F Noob and Batman as well. Juice WRLD also went up ahead quite a few rounds. I did see Juice WRLD go ahead and be the game changer for his team. But
Gee.
yet again, that was not enough. That was not enough to put the team in a place where they could go ahead and hope for Haven and maybe change things around on that. Ascent just closed the deal for Airavata.
Let's talk about the most valuable one, the MVP of the map
Any
of
doubts?
this Ascent. No, I had no doubts. It's Zephy for sure. Look at this young lad, the prodigy, coming in from Airavata Esports. The way this guy has played and the kind of ruckus that he brought to the table was pretty amazing. Headshot percent is also 21, which is pretty decent, honestly. Yeah, we have seen like 57 already in the first match, so I'm not that impressed with the headshot percent. But the way this guy was delivering blows to the opponents with the help of the Guardians or Vandals or even Spectres, even Sheriffs, to be honest, was pretty amazing. That means he's good at a lot of weapons.
True that versatility is definitely one of the areas where Zephy excels. But yeah, he was the man of the very valued player of the last map as well, and so he is of this one as well. So I think even for the series, it's gonna be him. There's no doubts. But yeah, people need to watch out for him. He's just up and coming. I don't think he's had as much experience in the game already, but as he keeps getting more and more experience, I think this is going to be one of the scariest lads out there to fight off against in the game of Valorant.
I totally agree with the points because he can be a menace. But let's talk about the MVP of the series as well, because that is a huge position. But then again, guys, as Anna said, it's definitely Zephy. Headshot percentage overall is going to be 42%. The damage is pretty close to 9,000 and first kills is 11. Being a duelist
Yup.
for the team, all of that is justified, but at the same point, 45 kills in just 2 maps is something which is pretty scary. So watch out, because
Exactly.
lower bracket, here we come.
Absolutely, absolutely. That too, considering that both the maps were pretty short-lived. They were 13-7
Yeah.
score lines on both the maps, and still
20
he
rounds
has
each.
45 kills and also 19 assists for himself. So pretty well executed there.
Right.
I'm pretty impressed by the overall stats of Zephy, and he's definitely someone that's gonna be providing a lot of value to his team. And if by chance he sticks around with Airavata itself for a really long time, then you can expect Airavata, the team itself, rise as a very big one in the coming future of Valorant in India, because again, if you're able to nurture a talent that young from that beginning of time, you can definitely mold him into what your team requires and like put him in the shoes that you require to be filled for your particular team. And that's something Aggressive was also addressing in the previous map. And I think I completely agree on it.
Yeah, I mean, these young prodigies, if they get a right path and eventually they kind of maneuver around, there are certain individuals who are trying to guide them and mold them. That is something which is also pretty amazing. But we do have a amazing leaderboard, guys, and that's the level of leaderboard. So let's have a look at it, because that is going to bring in some joy for the top 3 individuals, where currently AK Demon, 69G and Ramal are already holding the top spots.
True that. That's not going anywhere for a really long time, but because I'm Batman has already found himself on the 6th position. So let's see if he's going to be able to climb these numbers slowly and steadily.
He's out from season 6 now, so that is not going to
Oh
happen,
yes.
unfortunately.
Oh my. Oh, I
Yeah.
almost forgot. I cannot comprehend the fact that we're not going to be seeing Zerofrags anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, we've only seen one single match from them. They are definitely one of the teams that used to be very flashy to watch, very fun to watch, but not gonna lie, with Batman not playing Neon, even though the gameplay does excel as a Cypher as well, it's just not as flashy anymore.
Yeah. But man, what a competition, what a day, honestly. In these 2 games of the lower bracket round 1, we already got to see 2 colossal teams going out. EXO, a fierce battle from their sides to Celestial Esports, but they are now out, and now in front of Airavata Esports, there was no chance given to Zerofrags. 13-7 is a pretty distant gap. I mean, you were able to get a gap of 6 rounds in each map. That clearly shows what kind of a capability Zerofrags.exe has got and what Airavata Esports is going to bring to the table. So, talking about Airavata Esports, the reason why they are dropped in the lower bracket is Asterisk, and Tomorrow, of course, I believe in the upper bracket we are going to see that action against them and X Crew, and we have 120 FPS and PUBG Esports also sitting right there in the upper bracket. So it's going to be fun to watch how that happens, because at the end, whoever drops down, they're going to be there in the lower bracket too. And maybe there is a redemption storyline written of Airavata Esports and Asterix if Asterix goes down. So many permutations and combinations right now, guys.
True that. It's definitely gonna be fun to watch, and every single day is gonna keep on bringing that hype back into the games. And not only that, also kind of excel on the same. Like every single day, there's gonna be an extra build up on what's gonna happen next. So I am very interested to see the matches from tomorrow and every other day after that as well. Because if
Yeah.
today was this power packed and this was lower brackets round 1, I can only imagine what the future holds.
We'll have to wait till 23rd of November, because on that day, yes, it is the grand finals, which will be a BO5, but till then, there will be so many matches, there will be so many amazing fights that are going to happen. That will be absolutely amazing. But yeah, talking about amazing stuff, let's talk about the top 5 picks when it comes to the maps and also the agents. So the top 5 agents so far have been Sova, Omen and Breach, along with Cypher and Jet. But it's kind of justified, because if you see the maps that we have in the top 3 picks, Sova is something that can go hand in hand, Omen obviously. So yeah, I think it's justified.
Absolutely, absolutely, completely agree. All 3 of the maps that are in the top 3 maps pick list, it has definitely been one of the places where you can expect all of these agents to actually, rise and shine. I mean, with time, with more and more, games being played, I think there might be a bump for Jet getting out of this picture and Neon coming in, unless and until
Yeah.
there comes a rectification on how balanced Neon is. Yeah, I think
Yeah, especially the ultimate.
yep, yep. So until that changes, I think there is a very good chance of Jet being replaced. But yeah, other than that, it does seem like all the 4 agents that stand in their places are pretty prominent and pretty deservingly so.
Yeah. And all these 3 maps, be it Ascent, Heaven or Split, you can always see a Sova coming through. Maybe not in Split, because lately people have actually chosen Sky a lot in this map
Yeah.
for those guiding lights and the trailblazers and all. It is pretty amazing. But let's talk about the top 4 MVPs as well, guys, because those 4 individuals have actually shown their talent and
Already
showcase
up
what
here?
they're capable of. Yeah, Toxo, interesting. And Zevi, yeah, he is coming back with a vengeance for sure. EXO on the other corner, Zodiac, this name is not going to be retained for a longer period of time because this team also faces elimination from this whole circuit of season 6. So unfortunate, but as an individual, kudos to the performance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there we have it's Ash from X Crew. Let's see how far that's gonna go. But this is definitely looking pretty good. I mean, Zephy's future looks pretty bright. I'm not gonna like stall on that. But wanting to see more of Doxer soon.
Of course, we will get to see that action as well. But guys, for now, let's have a look at the brackets because after this lower bracket round 1 is already over, there are certain changes that has been delivered onto the brackets. So the fact is, EXO and Airavata Esports, EXO and Zerofrags to be precise, are the two teams who are already out, and now we have the top 6 teams available. Celestials, they are already moving to the match 1 of the lower bracket round 2, and same goes for Airavata Esports, who is currently sitting in the lower bracket round 2 match number 2. But remember, tomorrow the action of bracket semifinals will happen, and whichever team drops down, they will be facing another fight for survival against teams like Celestial Esports and Arvata Esports. It will be fun because all these 6 teams which are available right now, they are pretty fierce, they are pretty effective. Despite of the fact that the rosters have changed, they still are absolutely on point.
True that. And all of these teams are going to be bringing in gameplay that you've not seen before, because the way today went, it just sets up a bar, it just sets up a expectation of what's going to come next, and I am pretty optimistic for whatever it is. And the fight just keeps getting more and more intense as we keep reminding our players on what's at stake, right? It's a very big prize pool, and the more they are reminded of that, the more motivated and inspired they become to go ahead and take those fights, and that shows up in their gameplay. It very well does.
The evolution, the stakes are, as you rightly called it out, are pretty high, and eventually the glory of winning the 6th season as well. You might have won the first season or maybe the second one, but if you are not winning the latest one, that clearly shows that you are missing on something. So that is where I believe the players are trying to evolve. But don't worry guys, tomorrow at 12 PM, we are once again going to see the action of the Esports Club Presents Showdown Series Season 6 of Valorant, powered by Crucial by Macron. GP partner is Zerofrags Gaming and media partner is Gossip.gg. All the details are given in the description. Make sure to check out the links. Me, Raider, along with Anna, we are going to sign off for today. We'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Peace out.
your system. Alright, let's do this.
Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, But it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.